Okay, the next in our series of reviews of the McFarlane Batman and Robin wave is Poison Ivy. And so this is an exciting one because much like Batgirl, in the original Kenner toy line for this movie, the Poison Ivy figures were all just sort of generic looking designs, right? So I'll put up a picture of one of them so you can see here. None of them were actually really based on her appearance from the movie. So this is the first time we get a figure that is actually based on that and should actually be fairly accurate to the movie. So that is kind of exciting. They had, of course, many different options for outfits that they could have gone with, but I like that they went with this one because this is sort of the most classic Poison Ivy type outfit that she has in the movie. So hopefully this will be really cool. Let's go ahead and get her out and see what we think. Okay, so here's Poison Ivy out of the package, and for the most part, I think she looks great. She has the most detailed painting of any of the figures in the wave here, so she's got sort of a light green dry brushing over her leaf suit, and then these vines painted on her leg, and then some shading down into her shoes. You can see here with her shoes, they've tried to extend the shoes a little bit, so there's a little more surface area to these high-heeled shoes, and I eventually got her able to stand up okay, but I think she might have a little bit more trouble than some of the other ones at standing. But I think the suit is rendered really nicely. You know, it looks just like in the movie, and a lot of good detail. As I said, there's some detail that's not painted, like there's, you know, a leaf up here on her sleeve that could be. I think there is meant to be kind of some flowers in her hair that could be painted there. But for the most part, I think she looks really good. She actually has earrings, right? So we've seen with other figures, you know, that are supposed to, but they don't bother putting in that detail. So she actually does. She has a ring on this hand and on this hand, a couple on this hand, and a leaf in her palm on that hand. So a lot of good detail going on with Poison Ivy here. The hair doesn't have any shading or detail or anything, but the bright orange color is really good. I think it looks just like it would in the movie, or at least very much makes me think of how her hair looked in the movie. So I think that is very good. If we look at the head sculpt, I like this one. I think there are definitely some angles where this makes me think of Uma Thurman. It's not, you know, exactly her, but there are definitely some angles, I think, that makes me think of her. So I would say this head sculpt is pretty good. It's you know, as good as Batman and Robin. It's maybe a little better than Batman. It's definitely better than Batgirl as far as capturing the person that it is supposed to be. She could probably have brighter lips, right? Because one of the key plot points in the movie, of course, you know, is she had the poisonous lipstick, right? So she could probably have brighter lips. Otherwise, though, like I said, there's a lot of good detail going on with her. And it is exciting to finally get a figure of a movie-accurate Poison Ivy here. So for articulation, the head can't move up at all because of the hair. Look down just barely. No tilt side to side at the head. But the hair is flexible enough that the head can turn some. So we can get some turning out of the head there. But not very much at the head. Arms can go up pretty much straight out. All the way around. Bicep swivel, and it's hidden very nicely here, right at the top of her sleeve. So that looks great. Maybe see if we can get the elbow, seems stiff here. There it goes. So the double elbow. And then at the wrist, it has twist and has those vertical hinges. I guess you can turn them this way and make them hinge that way as well. Much like the other ones, she doesn't come with anything to hold. So these are the only hands that she comes with. So she has joint at the chest here and little tiny bit of crunch forward Once we include the waist, she's got a lot of lean back. So that's something this whole wave has been good at, is the leaning back. But it hasn't been good at the crunching forward. She's got very good side-to-side lean there. And then, of course, can twist at the waist, can twist at the chest. No problems with the so-called diaper piece because, of course, that's, how her suit is supposed to look. And it blends pretty seamlessly in here with the, with the rest of her suit. So at the legs, can go forward that far. So maybe a little bit past straight out. And can go back a long way. Her back piece here is very flexible, so the legs can go back a long way there. Full splits, no problem. Very close to full splits. We've got the double knee, so that's quite good. And then at the feet, we go up all the way there. That doesn't look very natural, but we've got a lot of bend there. Can point all the way down. She has toes. And then I'm sure we can wiggle it here. There we go, and get some ankle tilt, just like that. So articulated pretty well, I would say here. Just limited, only really limited in the head. So let's see if I can get her to stand up again. Maybe. I think I got pretty close. There we go. All right, so let's see what she comes with. As I'm sure many people have already pointed out, in the movie, she explicitly states that every Poison Ivy action figure comes with Bane, right? And of course, this one does not. But that was never true. The Poison Ivy figures in the original line did not come with Bane either. It might be cool to get a movie Bane figure, because while the character was not very good in that movie, it wasn't a bad design for him. I think the design could be cool as a figure. Anyway, she comes with the card and the stand, right, as all of them do. As we mentioned before, that's the artwork from the poster, and it's pretty good. You can see the face sculpt is pretty good there. And then she comes with the body for Arnold, right? So my last video on this series will be building Arnold, putting that together. So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons next. Okay, so for size comparisons, if we bring in Batgirl here, we're going to see, I think, what is a bit of a glaring issue with this Poison Ivy figure. The figure is great altogether, but let's bring in Batman here to illustrate my point. She's way too tall, right? I don't think Poison Ivy should be not only that much taller than Batgirl, but even taller than Batman as well. And I've got him in a little bit of a wide stance here, but even if he was standing up straight, I think the ears would be taller than her, but the top of his head, would come pretty close there. So I think maybe she has too long of legs, which I know a lot of people say that is an issue with the McFarlane toys. If you compare her with Batgirl, right? Batgirl has much shorter legs than Poison Ivy does here. So I think it's a very good figure, but I think she is a little bit too tall. Here is Marvel Legends Cersei, just to compare with the Marvel Legends. So, of course, Poison Ivy in the 7-inch scale instead of in the 6-inch scale. Here is a typical 12-ounce beverage can. And here is, of course, as always, here's John Cena. So she's, taller than him there as well. But we'd kind of expect that. All right, so that is the Poison Ivy figure. She's quite good. Other than being too tall, she's quite good. The suit looks good, and the face looks good. Like I said, it's good to have a figure that's actually movie accurate to this character. So stay tuned. I'm going to do some dramatic poses, and then I will do the last video where we build Arnold, and we'll see you in that.